Pope Francis just dropped a bombshell about 2023. This surprising revelation has the whole world buzzing with questions. What did the leader of the Catholic Church say that has everyone so intrigued? Is he about to unveil something about the end times? Step into a world where faith and secrets collide, diving into a mystery that might shake up what we believe. Are you ready for what's coming? The idea of hell, as understood in traditional Christian theology, has been a topic of theological discussion and debate throughout history. When examining Pope Francis's statements regarding hell, it is crucial to consider his words within the broader context of his teachings and the Catholic Church's understanding of the subject. Critics have accused Pope Francis of denying the existence of hell based on select statements he has made. However, a careful analysis reveals a more nuanced perspective. While the Pope's comments may challenge conventional interpretations, they should not be viewed as a complete rejection of the concept. One statement that has garnered significant attention is an interview the Pope gave to Italian journalist Eugenio Scalfari in 2013. In this interview, Scalfari reported that Pope Francis had said, "There is no hell and condemned souls disappear." However, it is important to note that this interview was a paraphrased account, not a direct quote. The Vatican later clarified that Scalfari's report should not be considered a faithful transcription of the Pope's exact words. In other instances, Pope Francis has emphasized God's mercy and the possibility of redemption. He has spoken about the transformative power of divine grace and the belief that even the gravest sinners can find forgiveness and reconciliation with God. This emphasis on mercy and redemption has been a consistent theme in Pope Francis's papacy. Catholic understanding of hell. Some critics argue that these statements imply a departure from traditional Catholic teachings on hell as a place of eternal punishment for the damned. However, the Catholic Church's understanding of hell is complex and encompasses various theological interpretations. While the Church affirms the reality of hell as a state of separation from God, it also recognizes the mystery of divine mercy and the potential for salvation. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that hell is a state of definitive self-exclusion from communion with God. It describes hell as the eternal separation from God and the consequence of a free and deliberate rejection of God's love and mercy. In this understanding, hell is not merely a physical location but a spiritual condition that results from a person's rejection of God's grace and love. Pope Francis's emphasis on mercy and exemption should be viewed as a reminder of the Catholic belief in the transformative power of God's love. His teachings do not negate the reality of hell, but rather emphasize the hope for reconciliation and salvation, even in the face of sin and brokenness. It is important to recognize that the Pope's role is not to redefine doctrine, but to interpret and apply the teachings of the Catholic Church in the present context. As the spiritual leader of the Catholic faithful, Pope Francis seeks to emphasize the pastoral dimension of God's mercy and love, providing guidance and encouragement to those who are struggling or feel distant from God. The conspiracy theories. The controversy around Pope Francis's statements on hell often arises from a misunderstanding of his intricate approach to the subject. While his focus on mercy and redemption may challenge traditional views, it does not mean he denies the existence of hell. The Catholic Church still firmly believes in hell as a state of separation from God. This understanding remains unchanged, but it also acknowledges the possibility of reconciliation and salvation through God's boundless mercy. To understand Pope Francis's stance better, we must see it in the context of Catholic tradition. His teachings add depth to the ongoing discussion within the Church without dismissing the concept of hell. The Rapture Connection. The concept of the rapture, well known in certain Christian circles, adds another layer to the conversation surrounding alleged dark practices within the Catholic Church. The rapture theory suggests that true believers will ascend to heaven, leaving non-believers to face a period of tribulation on earth. Some conspiracy theorists try to connect this belief in the rapture to accusations of corruption and occult activities within the Catholic Church. It's important to note that the rapture is not universally accepted among Christians. It originated in the 19th century through the teachings of John Nelson Darby and found traction in specific evangelical and fundamentalist circles. The mysterious belief in the rapture. The rapture is a belief held by certain Christian groups, particularly those with a dispensationalist or premillennialist perspective. According to this belief, at an unknown future time, believers in Jesus Christ will be suddenly taken up to meet Christ in the air, escaping a period of turmoil on earth. Some conspiracy theorists link the rapture to alleged sinister activities within the Catholic Church. They argue that these events are signs of an impending end-time scenario, including the rapture and the subsequent tribulation period. These theorists claim that secret societies and occult practices within the Vatican are indicators of a hidden agenda to deceive believers and prepare for the ultimate battle between good and evil. The rapture is a future event. The term rapture refers to the belief that believers will be caught up in heaven instantaneously, just before a period of tribulation and the second coming of Christ. This event is seen as a future occurrence that will happen suddenly and unexpectedly. It is often associated with the interpretation of biblical passages, such as 1 Thessalonians 4:16, 17. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a cry of command, with the voice of an archangel, and with the sound of the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive, who are left, will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will always be with the Lord. Supporters of the rapture see it as the physical removal of believers from earth, sparing them from the trials and tribulations of the end times. They view it as a sign of God's grace and protection for his faithful followers. Claims of sinister activities within the Catholic Church. Allegations of sinister activities within the highest levels of the Catholic Church have circulated for many years. These claims suggest the presence of Satanism, corruption, and occult practices within the Vatican. One claim that has garnered attention is the existence of a sculpture depicting Lucifer in an unused Catholic church. Some argue that this sculpture points to the involvement of the Vatican in occult practices. However, it is crucial to understand that artistic representations within churches can have various symbolic purposes and may not necessarily reflect any malevolent intent. Attributing the actions of a few individuals to the entire Vatican hierarchy requires substantial evidence. While no institution is immune to instances of individual misconduct or corruption, it is unfair and misleading to judge the entire Catholic Church based on isolated incidents or claims. Proponents of these allegations often cite testimonies from individuals like Malachi Martin and Reverend Gabriel Amorth to support their claims. However, it is essential to scrutinize these testimonies and evaluate their credibility. Malachi Martin's sensational claims. Malachi Martin, a former Jesuit priest, made sensational claims about the infiltration of Satanism within the Church. Yet his assertions lack verifiable evidence and have faced skepticism from both within and outside the Catholic community. Reverend Gabriel Amorth, an exorcist, claimed to have performed thousands of exorcisms and expressed beliefs about the existence of demonic possessions. While his experiences are fascinating, they are personal and cannot be a definitive proof of systemic corruption within the Catholic Church. In any large institution, there will inevitably be instances of individual misconduct or moral failings. It is crucial to distinguish between the actions of individuals and the institutional culpability of the entire hierarchy. As we conclude this exploration of Pope Francis, the concept of hell, and allegations within the Catholic Church, it is evident that discussions at the intersection of faith and controversy are complex. Open dialogue and a balanced understanding become increasingly important when navigating the intricate landscapes of religious belief and conspiracy theories in the pursuit of truth. So what do you think of the shocking prediction by Pope Francis for 2023? Comment below and subscribe for more.